Section A, Statistics. Definition of statistics is the collection of data and the application of probability. Question number 2. A, the mean. Mean is the average of all of these numbers together divided by the amount of all of these numbers. So, zero plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 5 plus 8 plus 2 plus 7 plus 6. So the mean is 53 divided by 12 of these, which is equal to 4.42. Okay. Question 2. Median. The definition is the number half into the set. So what I'm going to have to do is arrange these numbers. 0, 3, 'kay, that's gonna be a 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, and an 8. 12 of them. Okay. Alright. And let's try to scratch them out to find the middle. Let's try not to get confused. Okay, so it's between both of these. So it will be 4.5. Let's move on to the next question. It's mode. So mode is basically the number that appears most often. After seeing the numbers, there's a pair of 3, a pair of 4, a pair of 5, and a pair of 6. So there's none of these that appear the most. They're all even. So basically there is not going to be a mode. So the answer is none. Moving on to the range. Range is the difference between the lowest and the highest value. So basically 8 over here, and then the lowest is 0. So the answer is 8. Moving on now to the interquartile range. Interquartile range is a measure of variability based on dividing a set into quartiles. So basically gonna rewrite all these numbers very quickly so that I don't get confused, since I already scratched out those numbers above. We have found that this is the middle, so basically making it the interquartile 2. Now to find the middle of the remaining, let's try to scratch out these to not get confused. Find 6, so this is going to be quartile 3. And moving on to quartile 1, we have found that it is going to be the number 3. Okay, so to find the interquartile range, you're going to have to minus the third quartile from you're going to have to minus the first quartile from the third. So 6 minus 3 is equal to 3. So the interquartile range is 3. Moving on to the box and whisker question. The definition of box and whisker plot are groups of numerical data through their quartiles. So I pre-drawed starting from the highest value, a little bit over it, which is 8, and drew it down to the lowest value, which is 0. So basically, we're going to need to mark the points that we want to represent, which is going to be at 8, which is the highest value, 0 being the lowest value, the third number 3 being Q1, quartile 1, quartile 2, 4.5, and then quartile 3, which is 6. So try to mark some lines through these. Like so. Doing some finishing touches. On the graph. So try to mark these out. This is going to be Q3, which is equal to 6, Q2, which is equal to 4.5, Q1, which is equal to 3, the lowest value, which is equal to 0, and then the highest value, which is equal to 8. So that is your box and whisker plot. Moving on to section B, probability. Okay, I've chosen number 1. So the question reads, Jill is playing cards with her friend when she draws a card from a pack of 20 cards numbered 1 to 20. What is the probability of drawing a number that is even? So from 1 to 20, let's first of all establish the meaning of even. Even numbers are integers that can be divided by 2 with no remainder. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. And that counts up to 10. So it will be 10 over 20 which is also equal to 1 over 2. So the chances or the probability of drawing a number that is even is half. Moving on to B. What is the probability of drawing a number that is square? Square numbers definition is an integer that is the square of an integer. So the numbers are going to be 1, 4, 9, and 16. So 1 by 1 is 1, 2 by 2 is 4, 3 by 3 is 9, and 4 by 4 is 16. So those are the numbers that you can get that are squared, which is going to be 4 over 20, which is also 1 over 5. So the chances or the probability of drawing a number that is squared is 1 over 5. Moving on to C. What is the probability of drawing a number that is prime? Definition of prime is a natural number greater than 1 that is not a product of two smaller natural numbers. So let's write those out. 3, 5, 7. Okay. Also 2, 11, 13, 17, 19. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the answer is basically 8 over 20. And to bring that down, you'll have 2 over 5. So the probability of drawing a number that is prime is 2 out of 5. We are now moving on to section C, geometry. Chosen question number 1. Find the area and perimeter of the figure below. I'm going to find the base of the first triangle here. What I like to do is separate and divide the figure into 3 or 2 different shapes so that I can be able to find both the area and the perimeter easier. So starting off with the 18 and the 22. So we know to find the hypotenuse, it's usually a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And the hypotenuse is directly across from the angle. A squared is 18 squared plus b squared equals 22 squared. So this is going to label 18 as A, down here is B, and over here is C. So 18 times 18 equals 324 plus b squared equals 22 times 22, 484. So b squared is equal to 484 minus 324. B squared is equal to 160. Alright, so the square root of 160, because the formula is c squared, so we're going to have to b squared equals square root of 160. So 160, 12.65. That is going to be B. All right, so that's that is going to be my first triangle that I'm going to get out of the way over here. So 18, 12.65, and 22. So that's this little part right here. Okay, we have we have a big triangle right here, which can be broken into a half, or what I'm doing here is completing a square. So 18 would basically be moved onto this as it is the same length, 18. So let's try to get these separate triangles out of the way. Okay, so 22, and we just figured out the base of this triangle, which is 12.65. So we want to find the base of this triangle. So let's name each of our triangles A, B, and C. This is A, this is B, and this is going to be C down here, which is a triangle like this, like that, like that. So 21 minus 65 is going to give you this area right here. So 21 minus 12.65 is equal to 8.35. So we have to also find this missing side up here. So we just found that this little corner here is 8.35. So write out the 18, write out the 19 that we already have out of the C triangle, and then 21 minus 8.35. 8.35 is 12.65, which is, as I said, right here, the square cutoff point. So it proves that we have another shape that we can also make it easier to find the area with. So it would be 18, 12.65, 12.65, and 18 again. So let's go to finding the perimeter, which is basically the easiest. Perimeter is just going around a shape. So perimeter. (21 km plus 18 km plus 19 km plus 12.65 km. So 12.65 plus 19 plus 18 plus 21 is equal to 70.65 km. So perimeter is equal to 70.65 km. Now finding the area. We can do this either one of two ways: finding the area of the square or finding the area of each triangle separately. The formulas for finding a square would be side times side for square. To find the area for a triangle, it is going to be half base times height. So I'm going to do the easy way out, which would be finding two of these shapes, which is the square and the triangle. So let's get the square. $18 times 12.65 is equal to 227.7 km squared, because we're dealing with volume. Sorry, area. So now moving on to finding the triangle, which is going to be 8.35 of a base, and let me write it out so that I don't get confused. Do the triangle that we're missing. 8.35, 18, and 19. So half base times height is equal to, so half base, which is 8.35, and then you have to multiply the 8.35 by the height, which is 18. Basically, are going to get half of 18, which is 9, so 9 times 8.35, area is equal to 75.15 km squared. So now we have to add both of these areas together, which gives you 227.7 plus 75.15 is going to give you 302.85 km squared. Okay, so basically that would be your answer for the volume, for the area. So area answer is going to be 302.85 km squared, and your area and your perimeter is going to be equal to 70.65 km squared. Alright, just to make sure that this 302.85 kilometers is correct, I like to check over my answers. So doing over the triangles, found one I found it with doing two shapes, both the square and the triangle. I'll do all three triangles. I've done one already, so try to quickly do the other two just to make sure that that square works out just the way I need it to. Okay, so the triangle will be 12.65 and 22 and 18, half base. So 0.5 times 18 times 12.65 . 6.325 times the height, which is 18, gives you 11,113.85. So, doing the other triangle real quick to verify my answer. Get it out of the way. Because these two triangles made the square, they're going to be the same. 12.65, 18, and 22 gives you the same 113.85. Add 113.85 with itself equals 227.7 plus the other triangle that we solved, which was 75.15. Actually is the same thing as the squared, 227.7 plus the 75.15, 302.85 kilometers squared. So the answer that I had here, area of 302.85 kilometers squared, and the perimeter is 70.65 km. Thank you.